Okay, hi. Um, so hi everyone. Welcome to the discussion of To Kill a Mockingbird. And I think honestly, this book, I thought it would be a light read, but there's a lot of lessons that are actually shared in this particular book. So I'm very excited to actually discuss all of it with you. So basically, Merrative, it's reading rooms are just a bunch of people who have read the same book, article, or across any topic to come together and discuss about these about that particular book, various points that are mentioned in that particular book or article together, and share perspectives with each other. And in order to know like what book or article you would like to talk about, you just have to basically message us on Instagram that you would like to discuss this book, and we just find people within the community that we have to jam together like this, how we are doing it for this particular book. So this is Harshala here. I am from Mumbai, and I mostly read non-fiction, and this is one of the few fiction books that I have picked up. And I was surprised actually that this is actually old book. I didn't know that. When I was looking to it, it's around 1960s, and the book is based in 1930s. But yeah, I mean, I just felt that this book is very popular. That's why I plainly picked it up. So please do introduce yourselves. We'll start with Harishma.
Hi, my name is Harishma and I am from Tamil Nadu. So actually, I'm used to reading fantasy, but Fatima has been recommending me to read classics recently. So I thought this new year I shall pick it up and discuss it with you guys. So
Oh, okay, awesome. And what do you read generally as such?
I generally read fantasy genre, like
Okay, great.
novels from Brandon Sanders, Sarah J. Maas, people like that.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Meghna?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Meghna Chaudhary, and I'm a medical intern in Ahmednagar, Maharashtra. And I usually like reading contemplative fiction, something along the lines of Murakami. But this book was recommended to me by a friend, and honestly speaking, I could not finish reading the book. And I'm actually looking forward to getting inspiration from you guys to again pick this up and finally finish reading it. So, yeah, glad to be here.
Yeah, that's okay, cool. Fatima? Fatima
Hey,
has joined with us before also.
yeah, hey guys, I'm Fatma Nasreen from Kerala. I'm a literature student, and my favorite genres are classics and historical fiction, crime thrillers. Yes, and I really enjoyed the last discussion. And To Kill a Mockingbird is one of my favorite books.
Yeah, awesome. Sri Harika?
Yeah. Hello, guys. This is Sriharika. I'm from Hyderabad. Usually, my favorite genre in books are humor and thriller. I came across the To Kill a Mockingbird through suggestions, and honestly, I didn't finish the whole. And just like Megan, I'm finding the inspiration so that I could pick up the book again. So
So
yeah.
why did you guys really leave this? I mean, I also left the Kite Runner in between. I'm also trying to find inspiration. I even joined the discussion also, but still I kind of couldn't really pick it up. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's
But
kind of hard stretched, or I don't know.
yeah, yeah, maybe that is kind of the reason. Okay, awesome. So I'll just give you a brief as to what the book is about. So I think the book can be really divided into what I would say like three or four major lessons. Um, so basically, it is about two kids who are the main protagonists. I think Jem, and what is the other guy's name? Can anyone help
Scout,
me?
Scout, Scout.
Scott. Yeah. Uh, एक second. Scout, yeah. So Scout and Gem, And yeah, so the book is about them as the major protagonist, and I think mostly it is seen from the eyes of Scout, wherein you are actually there are a lot of events that have happened, from the neighborhood guy who's there, from to the trial that happened with the black man, and to the whole complete. I mean, the trial, yeah, even I felt it was a bit stretched apart and stuff. But there's this whole till the time it goes to climax is, I think, uh, probably it is done to take it towards the climax as such. But in short, I really think this book can be like divided into four major lessons. One is like to put yourself in other people's shoes. Like, you will not understand the kind of emotion the other person is really going through until unless you are putting yourself in a person's shoes. So for example, across what happened with the black man who was accused for the rape, or what happened with the neighborhood guy whom they thought was very scary and stuff, but was actually not. In fact, he saved her Scout and saved the other time also when someone was trying to put the blade and stuff. So until unless I mean, it's too easy to judge people and all and jump into conclusions because of certain characteristics that they have, like with the black man and with the neighborhood guy. But it's only when you truly understand them is you get to really know. The second lesson I found was like, don't kill mockingbirds. And I think when I researched about it after reading the book, by mockingbird they refer to people who are kind of weaker in the sense, or if you don't have something against them, but they are just weak, for like deers. So what they're trying to probably refer to here is how for example, he says that kill those birds which are kind of hurting our farms and everything, but not them, because they sing and stuff like that. So one of the references I came across was that they what they mean is by people who are really weak as such, yet they are not hurting you. And uh, another third lesson which I found was to keep fighting even if you know you lose. I think the trial with the black man that happened, even today, I mean, if you see, it happened in 1930s, 33 to 35, but still you can see how even today, I think a lot of that is still relevant. The whole thing that was happening, not as rape as such, but still that marginalization is still there, right? And Atticus still took up that fight to protect him and all. But yeah, I think this is one thing that lesson was there, and another fourth one was that the world is unfair. Like a lot of cases, especially during the end, we see that I mean, Scout realizes that I mean, when the trial was not in the favor, and when there was an attack that had happened, and after the attack they tried to portray him as a hero and stuff like that. So it was uh, that whole shade of the world being unfair, I think, was seen at that point of time. So that's what I would, I mean, I would just like to summarize the book in just these four major lessons, and I think they're surrounded by that. If I'm wrong, do let me know. But yeah, I'll just start with the first one then. The first discussion point that we have. How do Scott, Jim, and Dill characterize Boo Radley at the beginning of the book? So, so this question is basically just to, I mean, we know that they're kids, right, in the end of the day, and they just think, uh, I mean, we might have also done like that. We see some scary thing, start putting blames and exactly drawing whatever our imagination takes to about that person and the house as such. So we would just like to just know the kind of contrast that was there actually when you came across in the novel, and what do you guys really think about that whole episode with basically the Radley thing that happened. Anyone like to go ahead? Maybe Fatima this time.
Yes, Gem and Scout characterizes Boo like a monster or a ghost-like figure, person who dined on raw squirrels and cats. They were like so afraid of him, but they were obsessed with him. They want to know how he looked like. Oh, um actually, like his actual face or something like that. And um, these all were their imaginations. Like when I was a child, I used to see cartoons, means horror films and cartoons, and I was obsessed with that, like Dracula and vampires. These all were imaginations, and German Scout and Dill had these same imaginations about Boo, and all the townsfolk were made them think like that about him.
I think you correctly, called him as what you say, obsession, right? I mean, yeah, probably this comes because they were kids, but sometimes I feel that, maybe this was put as a plot point, like, when you are like trying to judge someone, like as you go later to the novel, like somewhere down the line, I just felt that the whole episode, because it's very different from the rest of the book that is there, about the whole trial and stuff like that. And there is this one whole episode where the two kids were trying to judge someone, and that person ends up helping them and giving them gifts and stuff like that. So yeah, how Sri Harika, have you read that part in case, and if you
Yeah,
want
I
to
have
comment?
read that part. Um, in the beginning of the story, Boo is described as like a mysterious neighbor. He is described as a freak or lunatic, followed by the rumors that he stabbed his father with the scissors. So we, as the readers, also
Yeah,
like the children, imagine him as some monster, and we had this the children had this all fantasies about him, and they also tried all these dares to touch his house, such that. But as the story progresses, we see that in the same way that the perspective from their view also changes according to us. We see him as we feel a little bit sympathetic towards him as the story progresses. I think he is also the one of the victim of as a mockingbird, because
hmm.
the children have seen him as a monster in the beginning, but as the story progresses, they see him as also a victim, and they try to actually interact with him. The horror, the fear towards him gradually declines. So yeah,
Yeah, awesome. Harishma.
Um, it's just that what we don't know, we are scared of what we don't know. So they try to fill their curiosity with all the things that their neighbors said, like that he was, like both of them said that he was a monster and all. But as the story progresses on, they get to learn better. So that's what I would like to contribute.
Yeah, I think you said that very right. I mean, we are always obsessed with something that we don't know, and especially if there are, a couple of more people, it just becomes a point of gossip. And just because somewhere down the line, I didn't feel that they were scared. They were more like having fun,
Hmm.
just like a topic of, to play around with. Meghna, do you want to add something?
No, you guys go ahead. It's really fascinating to know, especially what Fatima said.
Awesome. I'll just head on to the next one. Um, in Scout's account of her childhood, her father Atticus reigns supreme. How would you characterize his ability as a single parent? So yeah, Atticus is a single parent. So basically, we would just like to know everyone's opinion about his character. What do you think about him? And uh, yeah, what I think is basically, yeah, he's. I mean, it's very difficult to be a single parent, of course, and but he also seems to be very sympathetic towards the weak, because I mean he took up the case in first place. So probably he's like, I feel he's shown as someone of a hero, like how you have in Game of Thrones you had Ned Stark, right? So somewhere around that line, I mean, might not be the correct, um, not exact analogy, but the kind of character positioning that is there. And yeah, in case I didn't have much of a negative opinion around him. Not as of now. Let's listen to others. We'll start with Sri Harika this time. Even if you've not read the complete book, but maybe till when you've read, you can tell.
No, I don't have anything on this. Go ahead. You guys go ahead.
Okay, Harishma.
Well, as a single parent, I think I mean, better than what I'd expect a single parent to be. But his sister found him lacking in the way that he disciplined his younger daughter. But I'd say it was ideal because he made them realize the flaws in their system from a very young age. But even though they were oblivious to
Hmm.
it, they started to learn it in their own way. And when faced with, when they did something wrong, he was not. He was, like they said, he was same in the streets as well as he was in their house. He doesn't show any prejudices or give someone any special treatments because of their status in their society, even to his children. So I admired about that.
Yeah, I mean that's very right, well said. Because he, I mean, to be at that to be at Scout's age and to actually witness all of these things. Yeah, this is a fiction, but yeah, it's actually a lot, right? With that
Yeah.
mob lynching and everything, but although they sneaked out of the house and then they came to know about that, but still, I think yeah, you're very right about the fact that he's not very like departmentalizing stuff such. Fatima, would you like to go ahead?
Ah, yes. Atticus Finch is one of my favorite characters, and like he's everyone's favorite character. I have asked my friends about their favorite protagonist, and they say Atticus Finch. I don't know why, but I love Atticus Finch, and yes, he manages his single parent role very well. He teach them about life lessons. Like his life lessons are priceless for readers too. And he's a lawyer. He's a busy lawyer. Then also he spend time with them. He play and he read for them. And he's unusually perfect and wise. He's really committed to justice and equality and his work, and he maintains the relationship with his children as well. So yes, he's a nice single parent.
Yeah, so all good things about Atticus over here. So I'll move on to the next one. Um, the title of Lee's book is alluded to when Atticus gives his children air rifles and tells them that they can shoot all the blue jays they want, but it's a sin to kill a mockingbird. At the end of the novel, Scout likens the sin of naming Boo as Bob Ewell's killer to shooting a mockingbird. Do you think that Boo is the only innocent or mockingbird in this novel? So basically, it's just asking you, in case if you want to read, you can go ahead to the Instagram post that is there. I'll just share the link also so that you can. It's handy for you guys in the chat. Give me a second, and then you can just read it as well. But basically, what it is asking is, like it has described about the whole situation about to killing a mockingbird, the episode that happened about him instructing his children on how to not to kill a mockingbird. But in the end of the novel, he likes basically the sin of naming Bo as the Bob's killer to, shooting a mockingbird sort of thing. So it's asking if he is the only innocent, or mockingbird in this novel. That's what it's asking. Anybody would like to go ahead? Maybe Meghna, you can try. Have you read this part?
I don't think so. No.
Okay. How about Harishma?
Um, I I'd say that he was not the only mockingbird in this novel because there, for example, take Mr. Robinson. He was also an innocent person who was shot to death,
Hmm.
and as well as Atticus Finn, who was spit in his, who Mr. Ewell spit in his face, and even the children's.
Yeah, like
Some people thought that this book's name didn't really suit the book, but I'd say it's perfect because
yeah,
yeah, because he says it's analogous to saying that by killing a mockingbird, it says it's equal to a sin because it does nothing but help us and it's innocent. Um, so they are saying that I don't know how to phrase it.
yeah. So I think basically you're trying to say that the title like to Mockingbird, like it's with this particular scene they are saying that it's sin to kill a mockingbird because it's innocent and stuff. But there are a lot of innocents actually being either accused or being killed or being framed
Yes,
into and stuff like that, right?
yes, yes.
So it's the same thing that is happening. But in the end, the person who actually says and gives out these lessons is the one who's going against it, um, in the end of the novel, I guess.
Is Atticus Finch killed in the end?
No,
No, right? Okay.
no, no.
No.
Fatima, you'd like to add?
Yes, like Harishma said, the title is very intriguing. The only reason I picked up this book is its title, To Kill a Mockingbird. I want to know the reason behind that title. And yes, both Boo and Tom Robinson are mockingbirds, I think. Both have so many similarities, like they both denied justice in different ways. And they both are weak and pure and innocent. But they are killed, like their characters were killed because of the prejudice of the town or the people around them. uh, boo Boo is characterized as monstrous because of his abusive father. He went through a he went hello
I mean, the trauma. Yeah, we can hear you.
hello
Yeah, we can hear you. You can hear us?
yeah, okay. Yes, he went through a bad childhood, and he was afraid of people, like he became very introverted. And in case of Tom, he was persecuted because he is black, like the people was and the sorry the people, they don't like black people, or they try to oppress them. Both
Hmm.
were innocent and unprotected. When Atticus tried to defend Robinson, he was also accused, and the people saw him like a criminal, Atticus. So
Hmm.
I think so. Both were mockingbirds.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. In different situations, people are like they are becoming mockingbirds. Even if it's not necessarily the person to be really killed, right? Even if there's a blame game because of which a person is getting affected, at that situation also, I think, I mean, that's very well put. That the person is, in that position of being called, like killing of a mockingbird. Um, Thanks, Fatima. Sriharika, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I also think that the title perfectly fits the story, and I also think that Mayela is also a victim of Mockingbird. I mean, it's kinda because it's evident from the story that her father also abuses her and
Hmm.
possibly molests her. She's also victim of being ugly, poet, and he also received a lot of hatred. From the, it is also evident that the way she accuses Flint for when he addresses her Miss Maela, she accuses him of making fun of her. So it is evident that she hasn't received any kind treatment throughout her life. But it's of course it is of course covered by the fact that she tried to become a victim. So it only made us gain little sympathy, only little sympathy towards her. And also, I agree that Tom Robinson is also a mockingbird, judging by how people has oppressed him due to his race. And yeah, Boo is also one of the mockingbird. As the story progresses, we see that Boo is not the uh, what we say as a freak. As a freak is described initially.
Yeah, like a monster sort of.
Yeah.
But he was not described monster just by the kids, right? I mean, he was just across the town also, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yes, but based on the rumors, it makes us feel like he's a monster or
Yeah.
some weird. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Yeah, maybe this can be because the story is seen from the eyes of Scout,
Yeah.
uh, as such. So she's describing him that way. Uh, awesome. I'll move on to the next one. Um, Scout ages 2 years from 6 years to 8 over the course of Lee's novel, which is narrated from a perspective as an adult. Did you find the Did you find the account her narrator provides believable? Yeah, this is a very good question. You know that I mean, since this is being narrated from the eyes of a child, uh, I mean, it's very weird also that you're having such a amount of the person is like having these realizations and everything, and which for a child, I mean, probably I mean, it's graduating, I feel, from innocence to actually coming to know that the world is unfair and stuff. But yeah, what do you guys think about the whole aspect of this is from a child narration and then she becomes an adult and probably is writing this and stuff like that? So maybe we can start with Harishma this time.
As you can see in the initial chapter, I mean, in the first chapter, she'll be saying that Jem has his injuries since he was 12 years old, right? So it felt like she was telling the story as her perspective from an adult. Like, if I were to tell you a story from childhood, I'll tell you all the experiences I had as a child, along
Hmm.
with the wisdom I gained through the years. Don't you think? So you still saw the story through a child, but you got extra insight to the other things as well. So that might be due to the reason, or it might be due to the fact that Atticus Finn had instilled a lot of wisdom into them since a very young age. So I think both might be possible.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, such amount of wisdom and all. I mean, of course, Atticus has a huge impact on that, as we see in the novel. What about Shriharika? Would you like to go ahead this time? You have anything to add?
No, I don't have anything.
Fatima, what do you think about the believability? I think Harishma has put it forth very well. What do you think?
Yes, it was a different experience reading from the perspective of a child. And yes, Scout's a reliable narrator. She narrates with honesty, and I think she's really intelligent, and uh, she has a basic faith in everything, unusually intelligent and courageous and thoughtful and good and unusually everything. Uh, yes, and it was and like it was different to know the perspective from a child, and yes, that's it.
Are there any other novels wherein you have such child perspectives or something? Um, I mean, just came the thought crossed my mind. Maybe Harry Potter. I'm not sure. Meghna, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, there's a novel called Book Thief.
Oh yeah, the book thief. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one, and it's a teenager. I think it's from his perspective that they've written the book,
I think
and
Kite Runner also.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
Kite
I mean,
Runner
this
is
is
it's
yeah.
gotta be the saddest book ever, but that's how he writes. Yeah, but the
Yeah.
Book Thief is also very it's a very touching novel. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, it is touching, but I don't know why. Like, I'll pick it up again. You guys are motivating me to pick it up again. But yeah, Meena, do you have anything else to add, like with respect to the discussion point?
Yeah, I'll tell you something. I just don't understand how could you guys finish this novel? Because yeah, like you said, you think that it's an easy read, but as you progress further, you realize that it's not just about a kid giving his perspective about easy stuff. And I actually pretty much realized what Mockingbird meant from the beginning itself because I googled it initially. Um, but yeah, but the reason I couldn't finish it is because it's heavy stuff, and I think I'll pick up this book again and read it now.
No, but I think you probably ruined it also for yourself. If you because if you found your what the mockingbird thing really meant, because that's kind of the climax of the novel
Oh, because
towards
just
the
like
end.
Fatima said, the title of the book was so enticing. Partly the reason why people pick up this book is because you want to know why what the title means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so actually that title somewhere in between during the stage where she realizes the world is unfair and all, when you know that Atticus likes about putting the blame and stuff. So he that is when the whole climax scene, if I'm not wrong, comes in that.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm just
anybody
glad to
else?
know that he didn't die because I just had a feeling that he might. I really like that character. Whatever I've read, I really like that character.
Yeah, I mean Harper Lee is not like George R. R. Martin to just kill the main character in the start. So yeah. Okay, I'll head on to the next one. Um, which elements of the book, if any, do you think touch on controversial issues in a contemporary culture? Did you find any of those elements especially troubling, persuasive, or insightful? So yeah, I mean, one of the obvious ones is the whole Black Lives Matter happened in 2020 this year. Somewhere down the line, I feel, I mean, the internet was very much responsible. Like you could see the power of internet. Like everybody is at home, and still we had a massive, worldwide based, I think, protests around the same, and when people came to streets, even if the pandemic was there, and drawing stuff and fighting the police and stuff. So yeah, definitely. I mean, this novel also puts an issue on that. That too, a novel that is based in 1930s. So also, it kind of shows somewhere down the line. I feel it kind of shows a white, what you say, like when the white person is showing sympathy, uh, but I'm not really sure if that's because I have a doubt. Okay, like how in the end Atticus is okay in like putting out the blame, but I really have my doubts as to why did he really pick up the case of the black man in first place. Somewhere down the line, I feel it's very contradictory that he like a hypocrite sort of a thing that at one place he's okay at not shooting the mockingbird over here, and at other place he's completely fine doing the same. So probably it's because it involves his kids, maybe he was, but yeah, I would like to know your points about this. Maybe we can start with Fatima this time.
To Kill a Mockingbird talks about so many controversial issues like education and basically racial discrimination and religious discrimination, then education, child neglect and abuse. Like in case of education, like Cunningham's, do you guys remember them?
Uh,
Walter Cunningham, the student from Scouts class who came to school only
Yeah.
on the first day.
Yeah.
yes,
Yes,
yes, yes.
they denied education. Then
Yeah.
evils, Myla evil. They don't get proper education.
Hmm.
Like they don't care about education. Then race. Atticus described race or racism as a usual disease. Then child neglect. Boo Radley, evils, Dill. they were victims of child neglect, they had a terrible childhood. I think these are the controversial issues that.
I also think it touches upon the single parent thing, which I'm not very sure even if it's accepted today. Like, even it's very strange that this novel was based in 1930s and this issue was actually uh, picked up by the author. I mean, in 1960s about being a single parent and how, and that too not as a woman single parent, but as a male single parent, and trying to show the male person, trying being very good and uh, putting out values, I mean sharing values whatever he believes in and stuff. um, yeah, I mean just sharing randomly. Harishma, you'd like to go ahead?
Yeah, like you said at the beginning, I really found it hard when at the end of the book where Boo Radley was, I thought he was given a free pass because of his mental illness. I thought maybe no matter what they have, shouldn't they at least have a fair trade, even if even if Mr. Evil was about to kill these children. They wanted to disclose the truth, and because Boo Radley would have his neighbors, he'll be sorry, his neighbors will be praising him for what he done. So if in his place a black man had done the same, would they have come to the same conclusion? So that really was a controversial thing for me. Plus, did you all notice that most of the main characters, or at least the characters in the spotlight, had disabilities? Like Atticus Finn had a defect where he can only see through his left or right eye. I don't know. I can't be sure. And Mr. Robinson had his left hand was maimed by an incident when he was a child. So that theme was also included in the book. It's so vast, and I felt like someone said it was really hard for me to finish the book. I mean, I go at the end of part one. It was really I don't know, bland, and but I decided to go with it because I really wanted to know how it ended. But as soon as the court scene started, wow, it was awesome.
Yeah, that's a very great observation you made, about uh, touching disability. It seems like this book is kind of a cocktail of a lot of things which I personally find to be very weird that it is being touched at the age of 1930s and 1960s. And as usual, I think women are not, even though the women is the narrator over here who actually realizes and all, but I'm not seeing a lot of representation of women over here as well. So
Even in the end, she embraces becoming a lady or something, giving up her tomboyish characters because of the society. So it tells the truth, but
hmm,
like it's really controversial.
yeah, yeah, that's a good observation as well. Meghna, you can add something.
Uh, yeah, Harshala, you mentioned in the beginning that Atticus was somewhat shown as a hypocrite character. But I'll tell you something that in society, when there are the marginalized people, be it any community, be it the blacks or the transgenders, or in general the weaker section of the society, is never fully understood by the people who are privileged, or the ones who are living a normal life, and for those who have everything sorted out.
Hmm.
So even they don't understand that they are being a hypocrite, and it actually makes sense that the character was kept that way. Otherwise it would have been too idealistic if that hypocrisy wouldn't have been reflected in his character, because it's not uh, you know um, expected that a person from such a privilege would be able to understand what the other section of the society is going through.
Hmm. Yeah, you're right. I mean, in the end, you do not really realize, but somewhere down the line, I feel that since it involved his kids, probably that kind of drove him to, accepting it or something like that, like not realizing or maybe
Yeah.
because that is there. I recently attended a debate by this journalist called Faye D'Souza
Hmm.
on abolishing, I mean, on giving death sentence to the rapist. Maharashtra
Right.
government was doing that,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and the girls over there had come, and there it's a very good debate. I think you all should definitely see it
Yeah.
in case if you're interested in anything related to feminism, because the all the activists and all were there, proper ones.
Hmm.
So the very different perspectives. One of them was like how the rape should not be this that sin should not be there because it would actually deter women registering the crime, because most of the rapes happen because of someone we know already, and we
Yeah.
wouldn't
Yeah.
want them to give a death sentence just like that. And then there are really other perspectives given over there. So this is an
Yeah.
example, wherein if when someone close of us comes into picture, probably
Hmm.
we do tend to become a hypocrite, even if it
We lose
involves.
perspective. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And
awesome.
yeah, I mean, even I think that death sentence, that's too harsh, even from a human rights perspective. And that it has, in countries wherein it was implemented, the rape rates were not decreased. Even the molestation or any form of sexual assault did not show a statistical decrease because of rape, because of capital punishment. And it can, in India, what can happen is maybe people would get scared and they would take the law a little more seriously, because we know that such crimes, people who commit such crimes can easily get away with it.
Hmm.
But it's still a very harsh one. And suppose a person is wrongly accused of it, then that's
Yeah,
the end of everything for him. Yeah.
yeah. So there are a lot of counterpoints to that. So you should definitely check it out. It's for 45 minutes.
Okay.
Free time you can check it. Okay, I'll move
Sure.
on to the next one. So Jem describes to Scout the four folks or classes of people in Macomb County. Our kind of folks don't like the Cunninghams don't like the elves, and the elves don't hate and despise the colored folks. What do you think of the ways in which Lee explores race and class in 1930 Alabama? So I think I honestly feel it's so weird. Whenever I look at US or English-based racism, it's all on the basis of color and on the basis of the city that you have kind of come from. And in India, it's the complete different ball game. So yeah, I think when it comes to all these things, it's more like a natural, except for the colored one. I think the others, like these people don't like the Cunninghams and stuff like that, is more of a probably can be a behavioral trait, or can be the way, like even in US actually there are these surnames who have their own like of a history, wherein like for example the Cunninghams, it's like kind of like a caste system in India, but it is very surname specific if I'm not wrong. So they have their own not rituals as such, but the way they behave, what they eat and what they like, what is going to be in Thanksgiving dinner and stuff like that. And probably that might, I'm just thinking that it might, involve such kind of prejudice among each other. But I think when it comes being an Indian, I think it's very laughable because it's such a minor way to really um discriminate to. What do you guys think? We can start with Meghna, I think, this time.
uh, well, see, discrimination is deeply rooted in every country, and in some places it's class based, in some places it is racial based, and like there is racial discrimination in so many countries. The caste discrimination that we have in India is also rooted in race, because the upper caste, sorry if I'm offending anybody, but I myself am from a dominant caste, but the upper caste people believe that they are racially different from the lower sections of the society, and that is how they always felt that they were supreme, and they should be the ones who should be leading in the proper professions, whereas the professions which are socially deemed unfit are given to the ones to the lower socioeconomic. So basically, in India, we the old scriptures say that everything is based on um, the work, right? Everything. the sections were divided into because of the class and the work is segregated, but that came from the fact that the upper dominant caste are racially different because they've come from Europe. They're genetically they are pure breeding because they are superior to the ones who are indigenous to the continent subcontinent of India. So this discrimination is everywhere, but living in bigger cities, we don't really feel it. But if we go to the heartland of India, the situation is it hasn't changed much over the decades.
Yeah, probably in cities it's more on economic based. Like you have your house maid and um, other ones in Mumbai at least it's like that. You have this South Bombay people, North Bombay, and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, Fatima, you like to add?
Yes, like Meghna said, this racial and caste discrimination are everywhere, even in my place. This story reminded me of an event happened in my childhood. Can I say that?
Yeah, yeah, sure, you can share.
Okay, one day, me and my sister, we were playing with neighborhood kids, and I was 10, I think, and my sister was 7 years old. And suddenly, one girl, she's really beautiful and white in color. She declared that she can't play with my sister because she is black. Like, she wants to play with me. Uh, you know, me and my sister, we are not really similar in facial structure or color. Nobody can actually believe that we are siblings, and suddenly she wants to play with me, but she didn't want to play with my sister. And mm, we were struck, and I said that I can't play with you anymore. And I always think about that incident, because how could that little girl say that? She's only
Yeah,
8 years old, I think. Who taught
yeah.
her so?
It's really strange.
These
But yeah.
racism and caste, people inject into kids. It's, it's the terrible thing.
Yeah.
I don't
Which is
think this
so
is racism.
surprising
It's
because
more like a color disgust that people have.
yeah,
Because she's willing to play with you, right? And both of you are from the same, community. So this is more on the lines of she's having something against people who are dark colored, basically.
yeah. See, remember when the Black Lives Matter protest was
Yeah,
trending? So a lot of people in India were also supporting, but then there was a section in India which was saying that it's not relevant here, then why are you rooting for it?
yeah,
But the thing is, I'll tell you what, it is still relevant in India, not because there the racism is because Caucasians versus African Americans, but here also there is the discrimination based on color also stems from the fact that the privileged castes, are supposed to be fairer because they are racially superior to the ones who are the lower caste, and the lower caste are they are just presumed to be of the darker complexion. I mean, I have
true.
experienced this firsthand. I mean, I'm in a medical college, and people here, Brahmins here, believe that they are fair. They don't get skin conditions like acne because they are from European descent. They are similar to the Germans. I mean, I've listened to all this here, and I was
Oh my God, I did
shocked.
not know that they consider themselves to be from
Yeah,
English.
and she's from Mumbai. She's from Vileparle, very privileged background, and she's
I don't
proud that
think
she's
that's
fair,
true.
and she attributes it to her caste. And she's different from the ones who are of the lower caste because racially they are not from India only. Brahmins are not from India, she says. So, yeah, this is the scenario in urban India.
Oh my God, I think she's probably made this up in her own head because that I don't think Brahmins are there for a very long time.
Yeah, and that got me thinking that maybe I have got pimples because I'm not Brahmin. Something's wrong with my genetics.
No, no, it's nothing got to do with that.
Yeah.
Um, Harishma, you want to add something?
Yeah, I think it's impossible for humans to just be equal to each other. I don't think it will be possible because even if there are four people, they'll be dividing into two peoples or two groups. and discriminate the others. I'd say I just think it's the way of life. I've accepted it because that's how people are. I don't know what to think about that. Even in example, you are writing a test and you got a higher marks than your friend or someone who you don't know, and you will be thinking, "Apara, I got a lot of marks." So it's just, you see, it's our basic way, but we have to be better than that. You see, this book was written in the 90s, and I don't see any changes right now. They're still the same, maybe worse off.
Yeah, yeah, the divide is there since we were born. I mean, I'm a single child, so I was, and my mom didn't give birth to any other kid after I was born, and she was always told like, why have you, why only one kid, why only one kid, and that was not because it was one kid, but it was because I was a girl. So she also faced all
Hmm.
those things. So
Yeah.
anyway, moving on, just a second. So, one of the chief criticisms of To Kill a Mockingbird is that two central storylines, Scout, Jem, and Dill's fascination with Boo Radley, and the trial between Myla Well and Tom Robinson, are not sufficiently connected to the novel. Do you think that Lee is successful in incorporating these different stories? So even I, like I said before, also I did feel that these are completely different stories. But what I feel is that the thing that happened with Bob was kind of shown the kind of prejudice that we tend to have towards people, and uh, if and it's not necessary that what we think about a person, the person is like that, and it kind of forms a basis towards the thing that happened with the trial, as well as with the accusation that they were trying to make, because they were also like how they were trying to accuse the house is haunted and everything. They are, in the end also they are trying to bring back the accusation part, but this is like happening between the adults, you know. So this is what I feel. So I too think that even though it is different stories, initially when you're reading, maybe Meghna, that's why you couldn't really complete. Maybe you were not able to connect as such. So it does feel different, but it does come together. I think in the end, if one
Hmm.
tries to delve deeper into it. Otherwise, if you just
Okay.
finish an off also now, then probably you'll feel okay, okay, fine. When you read the climax, you'll understand what the To Kill a Mockingbird really means, and you'll probably close the novel. But probably in such
Yeah.
discussions and all, maybe you'll come to know that it's kind of connected in some or the other way. What do you guys
Hmm.
think? We can start with Harishma.
Like you said, the second part or the crucial part of the story can't be understood without saying all those things that she included. Maybe she should have shortened it, but it was all necessary to have understood it. That's what I think.
Yeah, it might
Uh,
not have been necessary. Yeah. Yeah, Fatima, you'd like to go ahead?
No, go on, guys.
Meghna, you want to add something?
No, we can move ahead.
Okay. Moving on. So by the end of To Kill a Mockingbird, the book's first sentence, when he was 13, my brother Jem got his arm badly broken at the elbow, has been explained and resolved. What do you think of the events that followed the Halloween period? So I don't remember this really well. So I think somebody else has to take it up and explain in case. Anybody? Or do you want me to skip it? Even if you want to skip it, tell me. Um,
Actually, do you want me to explain it? Can I?
yeah, yeah. I can you explain it?
Actually, after attending to some concert, stage performance, she goes like dressing like a ham. Actually, she humiliates herself, and while she was returning, Mr. Ewell is out for revenge for what Atticus Finn had done to him. He told that if he had read it, he would have seen him spitting in his face and telling him that he will come after him until he dies. So instead of going and confronting Atticus when he goes first to the children and attacks them while they're going alone. I mean, when they're returning to home late at night, I guess. So he tries to kill both of them. And while during this process, Jem's arm is badly broken, and I find it really. It was a deep meaning. I mean, it was ironic that this was the man that had caused. Uh, that has caused who Mr. Robinson's left hand was also broken, and Gems also was broken, and he died. This was all caused by Mr. Evans, and it's just a great connection if you ask me.
Yeah, yeah, the elbow part is very well noticed. Uh, I mean, the arm was broken, right? And the question is written that there are bruises and all, but I think it was broken, right? I mean, he
Yeah, he tries to defend his sister. Um, he tries. I mean, Mr. Evil tries to will be trying to choke a scout within the costume, and Jem will be trying to defend. I mean, trying to tackle him and telling Scout to run. But during the process, he gets knocked down and his arms gets twisted or something. After that,
Mhm.
during this whole ordeal is when Boo comes and saves everyone.
Yeah, awesome. Fatima, you'd like to add something?
No, we can move on.
You can move. Okay. Meghna, shall we move on?
Yeah.
Okay. So what elements of this book did you find especially memorable, humorous, or inspiring? Um, I just found the whole episode of when they were kids and him. I found him trying to put presents in the tree for the kids was kind of really sweet, and that was actually my favorite part of the book. It's very cute, like yeah. Humorous. I'm not very sure if this is a humorous book. Um, there are some elements. I mean, them judging, and I don't think it's very humorous towards the end as such. And yeah, the inspiring part, I think, the part where he tries to explain, up to not to kill a mockingbird. I mean, where the classic like really comes into, I mean, the climax comes into picture is probably very inspiring to me. Um, we can start with Fatima this time.
Yes, the whole narration is so good, humorous. Like you said, the children are so cute. Their statements and uh, the I think my favorite part is their vacation with Dill and their efforts to meet Boo Radley, their obsession with him, and then Scout's fight with Walter Cunningham. Scout being a tomboy, it's amazing, I think.
Awesome. Harishma?
My favorite part, or I mean, the part that made me tear up was after the jury gave the decision for Mr. Robinson. Everyone went home, and Jem was crying. And Mr. Atticus Finn would say that when these kind of things, no one is. I mean, the whole society is not aware of the injustice that has been done, and only children are aware of this. I mean, that was really deep. So that would be my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very well put.
Yeah, Harishma is really good at finding connections and brilliances in novels.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. She
No, this is
remembers
the
the
first time
small
I'm reading
details.
classic. I just read it yesterday, so I'm prone to remembering it all.
no, but it does take certain intelligence, to connect everything because you've actually been finding patterns, in the novel, which I also missed. I think I'm not sure if Fatima and Meghna have, but there are a lot of points, like the disability part that you said and all, the left hand part. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, that's very brilliant.
I'm just curious to know at what age did you all read it?
So I though read it in around last year, and then I just went through it again for this session.
Hmm.
I I think I read it on last July, I think.
Okay.
By last you mean 2020, no?
Sorry?
By last you mean 2020, right? I'm asking Fatima.
Yeah, this is 2021.
Yeah. Meghna, you'd like to
Uh,
add something?
no, it's been 4 years since I picked up the book. So I think I wasn't mature enough to read it then, I guess.
It does.
Your cam on. I think I'll give you some company.
No, that's okay. I don't mind keeping my cam on, actually.
Okay.
Unless if I'm not taken a bath, then I don't do it. But otherwise, I'm all cool. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'll move on to the next one. This is the last one. What about the racial attitudes of the town as revealed through the side characters? Why does California speak differently around other black people? So yeah, there is of course the racial thing is being talked about via major characters and the whole trial and everything. So that's why I picked this up. Like how we start speaking differently. I think Fatima gave her a story about playing with different people. So here it is about speaking differently. So what do you think about California's attitude? Meghna, we can start with you first if you've read that part. No?
I think Fatima would be the best person.
Fatima, you'd like to go ahead?
I think California had two kinds of attitudes. When she's with the Finches, she had a different thought about everything, like being in a society. And when she went to her church, she became a different person. Do you
Hmm.
guys think so?
Yeah, probably she has that imposter syndrome or something like that. Or maybe it's like how you are different when you're with. It's might be because it's that like one of the questions we took up the Cunninghams and all else and stuff like that. People are treating them differently, so maybe that's why she speaks really differently with all of these people because it's like as natural because at that time it might be very natural to behave like that and very common. I don't know if we do the same way with the caste system. I don't talk differently with people from different communities. But when it comes to age, like when somebody's a kid, I talk differently. I try to hold myself back. So that kind of difference I have, like age based differences I have. But I think that's with everyone, maybe. What do you think, Harishma?
She says that during the time that she didn't want to put on airs by talking in that. And if you also notice, a scout would say, if you know the proper way of speaking, then why are you speaking like that? So she's also thinks that the way they speak is the right way, and the way the black people speak are not. So she also says that whenever she gets angry, her grammar gets worse. So if it, I mean, they all speak two languages like mother tongue and English, right? So when you are in school or college, you will be talking to your friends in Tamil or Hindi or whichever language you prefer. And whenever the teachers come or you are talking to the principal, you speak in English. So that might be an example.
Yeah, that's also a very good example. This happened with in my school also. Especially with South Indians, there was this one kid who if she finds people from her community, she'll speak in that language. Otherwise, she will,
Yeah.
speak with English. So, yeah. Awesome. Do you guys anything other closing comments? We are done with the discussion questions. If you all want to add anything, share any more insights, go ahead, else we can like close it.
Um,
You want to say something, Harishma?
no, that's it.
Okay, awesome. Thank you everyone for joining. And this was fun. I got to know so much about the book today just because of you guys. So thank you for joining, and hopefully Meghna will pick it up
Yeah.
and finish it off.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Thank you
thank you,
so much.
Harishma and
Thank you so
Fatima.
much, Harshala. And
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
I think the book is still relevant today. And
Yeah, Meghna, do pick
Yeah, definitely.
pick it. Do pick.
sure, yeah, definitely.
Just hold on until
Thank
the
you so
quote
much.
scene comes. You will find it better there after that. Thank you. It
Awesome.
was really great to discuss the book with y'all.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Do
Thank you,
join again.
Harshala.
Also, if you
Okay.
again want to talk about any book, just message on our Instagram or we are there on WhatsApp also. So we'll
Hmm.
find people. Okay.
Okay.
There is
Okay.
one opened up in case if you have read it. The Henna Artist by Alka Joshi. Somebody has requested that. So in case if you guys have picked it up, do ping us. It's there on our status right now. Okay.
Okay.
Thank
Okay.
Okay,
you. Bye.
Harshala, one
Yeah.
request. If you
Yeah.
find anyone who mentions any novel by Ayn Rand, I think I would
Hmm.
be interested.
Sure. I'll find any book, any specific like you want to start off with because I can put
Yeah,
the whole
Fountainhead.
Fountainhead. Okay, I'll put it up today.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
everyone. Bye. Have a good day. Have a good Sunday.
Bye.
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 Bye.